Thank you, Madam Chairman. I move to strike the last word.
You're recognized for 5 minutes.
Secretary Mayorkas has said repeatedly the border is under control. That is true, but it's under the control of the Mexican crime cartels. I had a constituent who operates a nonprofit faith-based camp in my district tell me that the federal government contacted him and offered him $3,800 a month for each illegal alien that he would house at his facility. Let me say that again. He was contacted by the federal government, offered $3,800 a month for each illegal alien he would house at his facility. That's nearly $50,000 a year per individual. He turned them down because he knew it wasn't right for him to financially benefit from government policies he disagreed with and policies that he knows are harming his country. But the federal government has now turned to using your tax dollars to house illegal aliens at government schools, unfortunately with no regard for the best interests of American children. And I asked my colleagues on the other side of the aisle, what is the end game for the Biden administration's border invasion? How many illegal aliens should we bring into our country? What portion of the world's 7 billion plus residents that don't live in the United States should we permit to unlawfully enter our country? When will it be too much for our national security? When will it be too much for our economic or fiscal security? When will it be too much for our healthcare system? When will it be too much for our social services? When will it be too much for our education system? My colleagues on the other side of the aisle want illegal aliens to be simply forgiven for breaking the law, irrespective of the impact that it has on American citizens or the safety or security of our country. The left wants a nation without borders, allowing fentanyl, criminals, even terrorists to pour into our country. In last week's hearing in this committee, my Democrat colleagues expressed tremendous concern that the term invasion was being used during a markup. Mind you, they don't care about the actual invasion, just the term invasion. They don't seem to care about the 7 million illegals who have been helped across the border by this administration's policies in the last 2 years. Or the 5.5 million of those, or excuse me, the 1.5 million of those who are criminal gotaways. They don't care about the fentanyl pouring into our country, the 100,000 deaths last year from drug overdoses. They don't care about the hundreds of illegals dying on the journey, the abuse of women and children, the sex and child trafficking, the enrichment of about $1 billion a month of the Mexican crime cartels. They don't care about the impact on the border communities or the people who live there on the border. They don't care about the greater impact on our nation at large. No, they don't care about the invasion. They simply care about the term invasion. And today we're introducing this bill because instead of investing in truly quality education, allowing our children the choice on where to go to school, they're choosing illegal aliens brought in by the border invasion to be housed in the facilities that our children go to school in. Rather than look after the safety of our children, they welcome unvetted aliens into our schools to be housed just a few feet away from where our children spend hours in classrooms each day. The American people should know that this is what the left thinks of their hard-earned tax dollars. On May 13, the New York Post reported that the first 300 expected migrants had arrived at a former public school on Staten Island. On May 14, CBS reported that migrants, all of them adult men and women, no children, were being housed at Public School 188 in Brooklyn. On May 17, CNN reported that up to 30 illegal immigrants were placed in a gym at a public school in Williamsburg. This legislation requires that in order to receive federal funds, a school may not house or shelter illegal aliens. I urge my colleagues to support this common sense bill, and I yield back.